It was a case today of Victor Gyökeres arriving. The hold-up play was amazing. The pass for the second goal. Giuseppe, this is, if you watch my channel, The Football Terrace, Giuseppe comes on, he's an Arsenal fan, spoke about how he plays like Harry Kane. Now, we know that that was an exaggeration, but that pass was Harry Kane-esque. It was Wayne Rooney-esque. His hold-up play, he fed Saka into the game twice, where Saka really should have scored. And today wasn't about Arsenal lacking opportunities to score in open play or making it 3-4, 5-0. The conversion rate would probably frustrate them, or the final ball will probably frustrate them because it was a little bit off. But Gyökeres was amazing. He was like a predator. He was so hungry, a fox in the box, like a fox in the hen house, really, when it came to his goal. I think Gabriel at the back post gets a touch on it. It comes across and he's there. He's alert. He's alive. Gets his head on the ball. And I think Arsenal fans have been waiting for this type of performance. I think Arsenal fans have been waiting for a display from him like this, where everything was kind of together. There's been games where the hold-up play's been good, the approach play's been swell. There's been times where he's been making the right runs, he's in the right position. There's times where he scored goals. But it's, can he put all of these components together in a game? And away games in the Premier League are not easy. And I thought he did a fantastic job today. In fact, I think Arsenal looked a weaker team in the second half without him. Now, what you'll get from rivals of Arsenal is, but it's Burnley. And that's what people will say. But at the same time, when they look at other teams and go, well, look, they've got double the goals from open play than Arsenal, and they realise that most of those open play goals that double it came against teams of Burnley's level, they go quiet. So we don't play those games on the Football Terrace because it's pathetic, really. And that's what Arsenal fans should probably spam. They should just probably spam, it's Burnley. It's Burnley why they have 25 points from the opening 10 Premier League games. It's on them. But I felt that Gyökeres today, I thought was an absolute masterclass from him. I thought it was fantastic at every single level. And it was hard because the United game was on as well, and I was focusing on two matches. But I've been told by a few people there's a very minor head injury, and he was taken off as a precaution. But that was the element of the game today where I had to laugh to myself. Because we've seen this before with Liverpool, and we've seen this before with Manchester City in the last decade. We've seen it historically with Chelsea, United and Arsenal when we had brilliant teams. And there's a lot of City fans that will be watching and Liverpool fans watching that will be angry about how good Arsenal were today, but they'll recognise something. And it was the fact that in the second half, yes, they conceded 3 shots on goal. They didn't concede a single one in the second half. But Arsenal, they didn't play in first gear. They played in neutral. They put their feet up, they put on cruise control, and they just saw the game out. And I would understand that there'll be some gooners, and maybe rightfully so, will feel, could have got a third, could have got a fourth, could have had a bit of a party away at Burnley. I agree. I don't disagree with that notion. But I was just watching a team today that should scare rivals. That you got a goal early from a set piece. It's a fantastic weapon. You're scoring from them in every single game. And that, for me, is the opposite of embarrassing. You then score a brilliant goal. I think technically it will count as a counter-attack goal, but it wasn't from a set piece. And it was fantastic football. The crossfield pass from Gyokeres, the ball into the box, the header from Declan Rice. And then you just toyed with them. Have any of you ever owned a cat? Have you ever seen a cat catch an animal? If you ever see them catch an animal, especially mice, what they like to do is they put the mice down and the mice runs off and they sort of grab it. They bring it back. They play a bit. They throw it in the air a little bit. And it goes to run away and they go, no, come back here again. And that is what I watched Arsenal do today. And it's so important. And I understand the need and the want for a performance that maybe sends a bit more of a message across social media. Look, 4 or 5 open play goals, we battered someone. But actually what's more important is how these legs feel for these Arsenal players come March, April, May. One of the things last season that I praised Arne Slot so much for, I'm going to praise this Arsenal team for doing very similar today. Got themselves ahead, controlled the game, countered any kind of, stopped any attacks, nullified any attacks, cruise through, breeze through, easy, recovery day tomorrow, get ready for Slavia Prague, which obviously is a big away trip. You got Sunderland next weekend. There's a great opportunity to go into the international break with 9, 10, 11 wins on the bounce. 9, 10, 11 games without conceding on the bounce. The team absolutely purring, but not exhausting itself. And I watched the Man United and Forest game at the same time today. And Forest have football this midweek in Europe. I'll be interested to see how their legs hold up. The level of energy both teams are having to put in until the 95 minutes. There's some respects where you don't want to be doing that this early in the season. You want to be picking up your points, reserving energy and moving forward. And I think Arsenal did that so professionally today. It was a real professional performance in relation to that. And I think I had a live comment here says the game's gone. No, the game isn't gone. This is exactly... Go back and watch my videos last year in the early stage of the season for Slot and Liverpool. Go back and watch content from early in the seasons when Man City were doing 3-peats, 4-peats, trebles. This is exactly what I spoke about 2 seasons ago when Arsenal started the season slowly and blew up in the second half of the campaign. Predicted it. I felt it was a strategy, and you want to do that. It's how champions do things. It's how champions have invariably won things. Yes, you want to get a very good start to the season now, but you don't want to be peaking too soon. You don't want to taper. A lot of athletes do this, especially if you do like a kind of circuit competition where you sort of do loads of tournaments, but then every 3 to 4 months is a big one. Often the way you train in between these tournaments is to taper so you try and get to your peak for the 2 weeks of those major tournaments. You get that a lot in tennis as an example. And in football, you have to think about, you've got to have something in reserve. So it's not the game being gone, it's what champions do. And I thought that was very, very good today. But overall, look, it was such a solid display from Arsenal. Again, just absolutely no worries, really. Really no worries whatsoever. I suppose the only element, maybe some more shots on goal. Only 12 shots, but 4 big chances created in that. I think the few more shots, slightly better conversion rate. That would probably be the only thing that I'm looking at Arsenal now, and I would say it's the only element of weakness I can see. It's the only soft spot that needs a bit more fine-tuning. It's just an extra, and you'll probably find, if you look at it as a percentage, it's an extra 5% conversion rate over the course of a 5-game period, just to kill a few games off, just to maybe add a little bit of gloss. And maybe it's sometimes more for the fans, just to take that little bit of pressure off of them. But I think Arsenal were in a very good position, a very strong position. And let's see how Man City, let's see how Tottenham, let's see how Liverpool react. A couple of them playing this evening. We'll be live after those games as well. But I think Arsenal, as I say, very, very strong position. And Gyökeres today, a lot of people have been on at him. A lot of people have been attacking him. A lot of people have been writing Victor Gyökeres off. But I think today belongs to him. And if he can start putting in performances like that, he's done it in the Champions League. He's done it in moments, like I've said, in games or certain areas of his play. If he can start putting some more complete performances like that together in this league, adding those goals. And what is that for him? 6 goals now, which isn't a bad return for somebody joining a new league. But I think there's so much more to come from this number 9 of Arsenal's. He delivered today. I don't know who they gave the official man of the match to, but it's who I would personally pick. But I'd love to get your views. I'd love to get your opinions on that in our comment section below. Like, share, make sure you're subscribing. Big, big win for Arsenal.